Welcome to the Bark Night Podcast, where we shine a spotlight on the world of film and TV through news, reviews, and in-depth discussions. On today's episode, we'll be talking about Predator Badlands and the latest movie and physical media news. Be sure to follow, like, or leave a rating wherever you're listening. It helps to keep the reels turning.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I saw you got some snow over there.
Yeah, it's annoying. Only like 6 more months of this. It'd be great.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any here yet. We might not get any, and so I'm pretty happy about that.
The worst part is when it started, I got in a conversation with some older gentlemen, which is always fun. And they're like, "Well, the ground's not cold enough. It won't stick." It did stick. It did.
The
stick.
thing about Rochester is it's basically Canada. It will stick.
It will stick.
Yeah, so you were able to see Predator Badlands?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, yeah, let's run down a little bit of the quick facts about the movie, and then we'll jump into our reviews. So, first off, this one is directed and written by Dan Trachtenberg, who we know very well as the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane and Prey and Predator Killer of Killers. It's also written by Patrick Aison. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. But he's the same guy that wrote Prey as well. So Dan Trachtenberg wrote this and Prey together. So that's good that they have the same team overall kind of working through these movies to keep the continuity going and keep the general feel going throughout all of them.
Right. And you can definitely tell that too.
Yeah. So this had a budget of $105 million, and in its first weekend here, we had $40 million US and $80 million worldwide, so another 40 outside. So well on its way to making back its budget. It's got a little ways to go before it makes a profit, but all in all, I think these are all good signs for it.
That's a lot of money from the international market. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, well, I think it helps that, we just talked last episode about how we hadn't had a lot of really great releases lately. And so a slow October and then something like this comes along, I think people were like kind of waiting for something big and fun like this,
I think you're 100% right. People were waiting to go back to the theater. They needed a reason to.
Right. And here in the U.S., we got some snow. So, well, you got some snow. I didn't get some snow.
So, that happens.
That puts people in movie seats too, though.
It does.
So that's always helpful.
What do you want to do today? Not be outside.
Yeah, right. I want to grab a blanket and go sit in a comfy chair and have speakers blowing at me.
Yep.
Watch stuff explode. Watch heads get chopped off. Spines get ripped out.
The American way.
Yep. So reviews. We got IMDb rolling in with a 7.6 out of 10. That is solid. Rotten Tomatoes, even better. We got 85% from the critics, 95% from the audiences.
That was awesome. I saw that. I was going to bring that up if you didn't. That's a high percentage from an audience, especially for a movie like this. Usually, sci-fi kind of gets crapped on by certain people, but yeah, that was good. That was cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's solid, and I had anticipated that you had seen it too, because for what it's worth, they've been spending some social media ad money to get these things out there. I've come across the Rotten Tomatoes 95% ad, I think 12 times since I saw this.
Yeah. They want you to know about it.
Right. So Metascore, we got 71 out of 100. Pretty good. Pretty good for Metascore, too. Historically, you and I have no idea how they decide those things because it doesn't seem to ever make any sense.
No, it's kind of just random, it feels like. They have a random number generator. They just push the button and see what happens.
Right. Cinemascore, so for anybody that's uninitiated with what Cinemascore is, it is polling moviegoers as they exit the theater. So this is fresh, right out of the screening. And we got an A-, which is really good.
That is really good.
Yeah. And then on Threads, people love it. I have been seeing, by and large, on all of social media, everybody has been really, really loving this, with only a few that have not. And we'll get to their complaints eventually, but I find them to be very weak complaints, personally. But we'll get there. So, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what did you think of this movie? I assume you saw all that I've been posting about it, so you know what I think already. You don't have to agree with me, and that's completely fine, whichever way you go. But tell the people what you think.
So, yeah, I went into it. I was hoping...
So, I hate it.
God, don't hate it. Don't hate it. I think it's very good. I think it's got the right kind of momentum behind it right now. It's got great word of mouth. People are gonna. I think that's gonna have a really big second weekend. Honestly, I mean, the Running Man's coming out. That might hurt it a bit, but I think we could see a really good second weekend for this movie. I
think
enjoyed
so
it.
too.
I enjoyed it. Went in there and just everything I wanted in this movie, it gave me. I'm sure, as you said, we'll go over what people are complaining about because I can guess what they are. But yeah, just great action, great characters, good CGI, really good CGI. Like the CGI was, there's a couple parts that are like, meh, but that's gonna happen, and it kind of blows your mind a little bit. That like you said 105 million for the budget, right?
Yeah.
It seems like this movie costs more than that. I know that's kind of a crazy thing to say, but it feels like it costs more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it benefits from the fact that it has a small cast.
That's probably a big part of it. Yeah. Basically, it's a two-person show.
Right. And one of the two is a relative unknown. When I say relative, I mean nobody knows who this guy is. I think they're going to after this because he's been all over the press. But Elle Fanning that's where they spent all their casting money.
Right. And she's great. Yeah, great story. It's a familiar story. Outcast trying to prove himself, tries to go and take down this big bad monster on a different planet to again adhere himself to his culture and his people. So it's a story we've seen before, but it's done very well. It's beautifully shot. It's memorable. I think it's not one that you're gonna like oh that was good and then just move on with your day. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. As I said, Elle Fanning's great in it. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say she plays a dual role. She plays two different roles in this movie. And
I had anticipated that from the trailer because each of them are in the trailer, but they look enough different that you're like, okay, I think that's
either she has a bail damage or yeah. So yeah, just like Sinners, there's another dual role character this year, which is fun. But yeah, she's great. The guy who plays Predator, whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce because my God, you got that one for me?
So I tried to look up in interviews how to say this name, and everybody just calls him by his first name. Nobody even tries it. I will give it a shot. I think it's Demetrius Schuster Kaloamatangi.
Good. That's how
That's what I think it is.
That's a good shot. But yeah, he's obviously not the normal Predator. Like that's a subplot here is that he's a runt. So he's not the guy who played the first movie was like 6'7", or the guy, oh my God, I said it. Or the guy who like played in Prey, who like they're giant men. Like he's a big guy, but like he's not to the same physical stature. But he still brings the energy. Still is great in the role. And yeah, dude, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I don't want to go too far into spoilers on it, but as we said, it's a two-person show. They get to this planet, and this planet is full of terrible, murderous things that want to kill them. Like the grass is razor blades, and like that's not a joke. Like the grass is razor blades. So that's the kind of planet they're on. There's exploding worms, all kinds of cool little fun sci-fi goodness in it. And yeah, it's not what the Predator franchise was when we were growing up. Like it's very much like an action adventure kind of like buddy cop type thing.
Yeah.
So if you go in there thinking like it's gonna be like movie monster, scary nightmare fuel Predator, it's not. It's very much an action adventure with a character that we all know. And yeah, I went in there and like at first when it started, like we could tell it was going down that road from like the trailers and such. I kind of had a bit of like, well, I kind of want to leave the Predator as a monster, a scary, could be in your closet type boogeyman, But the culture and what Dan Trachtenberg's doing with the franchise is building this whole world. And I'm very excited to see where he goes from here. And I was very much a fan of this movie.
It's great to hear. So here's my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Dan Trachtenberg did here what I was hoping that Fede Alvarez would do
with Alien
after he did Alien Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
So Trachtenberg made the movie fans wanted with Prey, sticking to the original framework, including, all the callbacks and Easter eggs galore, all that stuff. Then he went and made the movie that he wanted, the one that broke the mold, expanded the lore, and went into new and fun directions.
Right.
So I think that, if somebody wants that other version of Predator, watch Prey, right?
Watch Prey.
Which is fantastic. There's also an interesting parallel between this and Prey, where both stories are about this underestimated member of their clan who goes out on their first hunt to prove their worth. Both guided by their older brother as well.
True.
So it's a really interesting parallel where it is a very familiar story while still breaking from that formula.
Right.
And it's almost like the inverse of Prey, where
Yeah.
we're telling the story now from the Yautja's perspective. So it's really interesting from that perspective, but the movie itself just does everything different, and I really, really, really liked it. So I'm glad that they did that. But remember when, after we watched Alien Romulus, I had said, like, I hope that Fede Alvarez from here does something completely different that is his,
Right.
That's what I was hoping. He would do at least 2 movies, because with that one, you have all the Easter eggs, all those callbacks. Most of them we didn't like.
Yeah.
With Prey, I didn't mind them at all because they were all subtle, right? Yeah. The one time they used the line that was like, if it bleeds, we can kill it, I was like, that's fine. Yeah. It at least fits the situation. Because the one at the end of Alien Romulus does not fit the situation. No. You're like, there's no reason he would say this. Right?
Yeah, that was painful.
But there's no callbacks whatsoever in this, I don't think. Right?
I don't think so. I mean, there's the Easter egg of Wailing Yutani, but it's not a callback. That's just part of the world.
Yeah, that's just part of the world. And so he even said that he wasn't trying to do it like that. He had basically gotten to a point in writing where he had decided, like, I want this other character to be a robot. And then not too long later, he was like, oh yeah, we have a company that makes robots. Like,
yeah. Boom, there you go.
Right. So this one much more seems his, right?
Right. Yeah, like it's like you said, Prey. Like, I think other than that line, if it bleeds, we can kill it, or at the end when she gets the flintlock pistol that we see in the end of Predator 2, which is just stuff for us fans, Like this one, I don't think had anything that noticeably not egregious. That's not the word, but like noticeable. Like, oh hey, look at that moments. It was its own monster, kind of. I mean, the power loader a bit, but I mean that's. I think that's a bit of a stretch still.
Yeah, I didn't take any issue with it just because it's like really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes sense that they would have that, right?
Right, because they're getting stuff off
takes
planet.
Place in a basically a storage container area.
Yeah, I almost said stockyard, but I don't know if that's the right word. I think that's where you're.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Stockyard. Stockton yard.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the planet itself.
Genna.
It's called Genna, yeah. And I think they saved a lot of money by filming this in Australia and New Zealand. The actor Demetrius, he's from New Zealand, so that probably helped the whole thing too. So they probably got a bunch of tax breaks there. But also, this isn't filmed completely on a green screen, so it sort of helps ground a lot of those scenes because we're in the middle of a real world.
Yeah, and like green screen is a great tool for movies to use, but if it's over reliant on it, it becomes obvious. So as you said, it's good to have something real to reference. Your eyes see something real, and it helps to make the not real seem so uncanny. That's how you say that.
Yeah, and it makes things more expensive when everything's green screen because you have to have somebody design all of that stuff. So stuff like that, overly relying on special effects and overly relying on giant casts with big names, those two things will take you to $250 so quick. So I think that's making the right decisions in those two areas. I think helped them save a ton of money.
Right, because I mean, Prey came out, it was straight to streaming. Yeah. So I mean, there wasn't really a box office to see how this movie would go to justify a bigger budget than what he was given. And then like Killer of Killers, again, straight to streaming and also animated. So I'm sure it's not cheap to animate that, but it's not a full blockbuster movie. Now the studio can see that they gave him the money. He went out. Hopefully this does as well as we're thinking it's going to do, and then they'll make it easier for the future of the franchise.
Yeah, I think it will be hard for it to increase next week.
Oh yeah,
it is not unheard of for a movie to make more in their second week due to those things like word of mouth and all that, but I think it's got quite the uphill battle to do that. So I mean,
Running Man,
a slight drop.
Yeah, Running Man's gonna make money.
I think so. I mean, I'm going to see it Thursday night.
I plan on to.
I plan on to.
I don't plan on 3 though. Don't trust it.
I plan on 2. But yeah, so that's coming out. I think something else is coming out this week too. Oh, Now You See Me, Now You Don't is coming.
Oh, okay. I don't know
I think
about
that's
that.
the other one I was thinking of. You know what that is, right?
Yeah, it's a sequel to Now You See Me, and the other one.
Yeah. I think they just called the other one Now You See Me Too.
I saw the first one, thought it was good, and then never went saw the second one, or saw the second one actually.
Yeah, I saw the second one. It was, if you saw the first one, the second one's not all that different from the first one. And just kind of trying to do the same thing again.
So
and
like,
that's kind of what I expect with this one, so I'm probably not going to go see it.
yeah, it's like Night at the Museum. First one came out, they had a formula, and they just did it like 3 times.
Yeah, they're like, let's just keep doing that. But yeah, so you have Now You See Me, Now You Don't. You have The Running Man, and you have Keeper coming out this coming weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So it is going to be a tough battle, even back to first place. So I hope that it makes pretty good money. But I think they've been doing the thing where they keep these, at least Disney has, where they keep these in theaters for a little while here before they release them. So I'm hoping that they do that enough where this kind of gets to stick around and make its budget back and show that there's an appetite for this.
And he said the D word. Still
What's
crazy
that?
to me that you said the D word, the Disney. Still crazy to me that this franchise is now part of that umbrella.
Yeah. And what's funny about that is that so many people were worried about that. They were worried about the Alien and the Predator franchises being under the umbrella. But we have to remember that this is still 20th Century Studios. It's not,
Disney proper or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the people that made Dumbo aren't making this, right?
Hope not. At least not the live action one was pretty bad.
Didn't see that one, but
Don't watch it.
So it's interesting because they've released movies that have held their own against the originals, right? We saw Alien Romulus, and we were in agreement that, like, hey, this is better than everything that's come out after the first two. This is better than Prometheus. This is better than Covenant. It's better than 3. It's better than Resurrection. It's better than both of the Alien versus Predators.
100%.
And this, I mean, I've seen a bunch of people say they like this more than the original, which is really interesting.
That's a tough one for me to get behind, but I can support it. I can say I'll just say, like, it's my bronze medal right now of the Predator franchise. And
I think it's without argument, it's a top 3.
Yeah. I still think Prey's better, but I just have a soft spot for that movie. So, but yeah, I would say Predator, Prey, and then Badlands. Did you theater you saw it into when the title screen pop up? Was there the unnecessary property of 20th Century Fox?
Yeah.
I was like, that threw me off so much. Like, I've never noticed that part of a title before.
Yeah, it was weird that they did that. I don't know why they did.
And that makes no sense, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the legalities of that are, but it was, I noticed all that junk on the screen. I was like, why is all that there?
Why is that? Yeah, exactly. It took me out of it. And like, I literally, Hal was
Is
saying
this
next
a
to me.
1950s movie? Like,
Right.
what's going on?
Yeah, no, Hal said next to me, I went, what the hell is that? And she's like, yeah, that is weird. So that's how the movie started.
Well,
for us.
from a legal perspective, Dan.
No, yes, and she explained the whole thing to me. As a nurse, she's well aware of those copyright rules.
She's well aware of contract law and bird law.
Bird law. She's big on bird law.
But it's been interesting to see that they've released such good movies since they took it over.
Right, and that's not what we expected. We expected it to be neutered, and they haven't been neutered, I would say.
Yeah. And so this one, the script for this was developed before they owned it.
Oh, nice.
And I saw an interview with Dan Trachtenberg where he's talking about this, and he said that he had an idea for the franchise, and he called his agents. They contacted 20th Century Fox, and his agents were like, hey, actually Shane Black is putting together a movie for them right now, so, it's a no-go. And so he just went out of his way, and he just emailed them himself and was like, hey, I have an idea for this. I know Shane Black is developing his own thing, but here's my idea just in case you guys are interested. And they were like, we are interested. We want to buy your idea. And so they paid him to make the script. And then basically we all know what happened with The Predator. It was terrible. And it just, nothing worked with it and everybody hated it. And the whole franchise went on ice. So he said this went on ice. Mm-hmm. So they had just had his script just sitting in the back somewhere. Oh, and cool. When Disney bought 20th Century Fox and turned them into 20th Century Studios, they started looking at all this stuff. And somebody came across his script and were like, hey, this is great. Let's do this.
Awesome. That's cool. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, and it's really interesting how those things come about. But yeah, so they made that happen, and then they were like, "All right, you're killing it, bud. Do another one. Oh, you still got ideas? Do another one. You know, keep making them until people don't like them anymore, and then
and we'll find someone else."
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're in charge until you get killed, or I find somebody better.
Oh, what's that from?
Starship Troopers.
Damn it! I knew it. As soon as I said it, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get that as soon as he says it. That's great. Yeah, that's going back to the Predator real quick. There's such an unfortunate situation with that movie. Like that should have worked, and it just didn't.
The thing about it too is nothing works.
Nothing works.
I watched it a couple months ago because I was like, let me give this another try. Nothing works in it.
No, the comedy
jokes don't land. The special effects don't really land.
The characters don't land.
The entire third act they had to reshoot, and the third act does not work at all. And you look at this and you're like, I know Keegan Michael Key is funny. I know he is, but he's not funny here. Like, who's the one guy, the bad guy in it?
Oh, good actor. My brain's blanking on him. But yeah, how he gets taken out of that movie just so unceremoniously, just done. And you're like, what?
Just accidentally shoots himself like
as a joke. It's like, what? Why would you do that?
And it almost happens off screen because it's
almost
it's so blink and you miss it. Sterling K. Brown.
That's it. Yes, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful actor. He doesn't work here, and he might be the best part of this movie. In all honesty. Yeah,
he's just chewing gum aggressively, and then, like you said, just all of a sudden out of the movie, and you noticed it at that point too. Like, and like not to crap on the rest of the actors, like Olivia Munn, Thomas Jane, the guy who plays
none of them work.
Guy who plays Theon, like none of the characters work. It's just such a train wreck. It just like I think I did the same thing you did. I watched it last winter at some point, just like this movie can't be as bad as I remember, and it somehow was almost worse.
You're like, oh my god, I forgot how bad this is.
Yeah.
I forgot about this bad part here. I forgot about this bad part here. I forgot about Thomas Jane having Tourette's. That doesn't work whatsoever. Doesn't work.
Movie Tourette's, and like the kid has movie autism powers where he can solve the Predator's technology. Just bad. Everything's bad.
Everything is so bad. And you know what stood out to me? At this one part, they're talking about, like, they legitimately call it the Predator too. Like, they don't try and come up with like the organism, the creature, the alien, anything like that. They're like
this thing's a predator
because they're because it's written by somebody who played with the toys, probably.
Yeah.
And when they're talking about him, Olivia Munn's like, "Well, that's not a predator. That's a sports hunter," or something like that. And it's like that is not clever writing.
No.
And then Sterling K. Brown is like, "Well, we voted on it, and Predator's cooler." And I'm just, like, as I was watching it, I was like, this is the most hokey shit I've ever seen. It's almost like when Jennifer, what's her name, played Mystique. And
Jennifer Lawrence.
When she played Mystique and points out that it's the X-Men and not the X-people or X-women or whatever, like that line to me is like, come on, like, just, like, I get the point, but that's not clever writing. That's just reciting Reddit posts and comments, right? Like
it's like the first draft of the script, and they're just like, "Oh, with it, it's fine."
Yeah, like there's no reason for this to be here.
But yeah, I bring that movie up just to give context to like how this movie everything works.
Yeah, everything works.
Yeah, the planet, the antagonist, the android Elle Fanning, the evil android Elle Fanning.
Yeah,
the nameless goons. Of course they're nameless goons because they're just androids. Like that's fine. Like you sometimes in movies you see like a background character, you're like, oh, what's this dude's story? You don't care. They're just androids. They're there to be numbers when he starts going off.
Right. And you know what it reminded me of is that Alien game you and I were playing.
Oh,
there's levels where we're fighting like hordes of synths.
Oh my gosh. Alien.
Is it Fireteam Elite? Or
Fire
is
Team.
it, yeah.
No, yes.
Or is it Dark Descent?
No, it's Fireteam.
Okay. Because those were the two that came out there.
They came out similar times. Yeah, I do too. Fireteam is the one we played. And like you said, like the synth battles were fun. I definitely bellyached about it a bunch because I'm like, this is an Alien game, but it's part of the world.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing with it too is like there's enough levels in that game where it's like, okay, if you don't like those, just go back and play the others.
Yeah, and even like Alien Isolation, another great Alien game. The androids featured prominently in that. So I know Alien Predator, I know, but still, they're in this world, and they just. You know what I mean? It's just like, if you're going to have a nameless background character, it's cool that they can just use androids. It just works. I don't know.
Yeah. And, like you said, Elle Fanning does great in both roles. and you can clearly tell when it's one or the other. And it's shot in a way where it's not distracting whatsoever, because the two of them aren't noticeably on screen together. I don't know if they were on screen at all together.
Couple scenes.
Well, they were in scenes they were in the lab scene together, but I don't know if they were in the same frame. You know what I mean?
I do.
Where you're looking for the seams. I think it was on her face, and then it was on her face.
I think you might be right, actually.
And if it was quick and not noticeable or anything. And I think that's what you need to do. And I'm so glad that we're kind of to a point in filmmaking where they can do these double roles and it's not distracting anymore, you know?
No, after the movie, Holly asked who played the evil android. I'm like, Elle Fanning.
It's like Sinners when Sarah asked me who played the other brother, and I was like, they're both Michael B. Jordan.
Exactly, and that's a good example. But she's like, I thought that was, but I thought they were completely different. I'm like, no, they are, but it is the same actress.
Yeah, really well done.
Yeah, so we had to take a brief moment to poop on the Predator to show light onto why this works by comparison. Yeah. There's comedic elements to it, but there's nothing painfully cringy as was in that movie.
Right.
There's a couple times where I laughed. I didn't expect to laugh at a Predator movie, like when she's telling him what she is and he just walks away. That got me.
So the jokes are so subtle
that
they just work, because there's a line, and the line is that you are making a fun action movie, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you can include a little bit of humor, but you don't want it to turn into Guardians of the Galaxy. No, and I think this here had the perfect balance. It's as close to Guardians of the Galaxy as this franchise will ever be, right?
But it's not Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
But it's not. Yeah, those movies are heavy comedy. This has just a little comedy sprinkled in, and it's all like dry humor, you know?
Yeah. Her you can see from the trailer that her bottom half's not on her, so there's a whole sequence where she's trying to control her bottom half to do stuff, and it's like a physical comedy, and it's just a fun scene. And at first I thought it didn't make sense, and then Holly actually pointed out that there's a little device or something on the hip of the legs that she's controlling, which I didn't pick up on, but I remember seeing in the movie. So it's cool that they thought of that too. Someone would be like, why would her legs respond like that? Well, there you go.
Yeah. The soundtrack is Sarah Schachner. I think that's how you say her name. I don't really know. And Benjamin Wallfisch. So Sarah is the composer of Prey.
Oh, cool.
Benjamin is the composer of Alien Romulus. So they grabbed both those composers and they both made the soundtrack together. And what's interesting about it is that they both did their own individual tracks, not tracks together, but so that you've got that feeling of Prey in the culture, and in that one's got a very almost folky soundtrack, an action folk movie. So that aspect of it is included in this, but then you've got the action sci-fi, that aspect of it, and that's where the Alien Romulus soundtrack comes in. So the decision to grab both of them to do tracks for this movie, I think, is almost genius, right?
Yeah, it's a good way to blend the edges together.
Yeah,
and that's cool. I didn't know they did that. That's really cool. It definitely feels like, not to go too far ahead of, I'm sure you're about to bring up at some point, but we're heading towards Alien vs Predator, but good, hopefully. I enjoy the first Alien vs Predator as much as the next person. The second, the Requiem, is absolute garbage because you can't see it. But I feel like we're heading that way fast, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if Dan Trachtenberg does it or not. I don't think that's his next idea.
No, I think he's got more he wants to do with Deck and his story.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do head in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I almost guarantee it. I bet money on it within. Well, these movies take a while, so maybe 7 years we'll get that.
Well, and the thing is, if they keep making these movies with Thea and Deck and Bud, with the three of them kind of going and just checking out new planets and building up their trophy collection, and just kind of, navigating the galaxy, trying to make their own clan or find their own home or whatever it is, find their way, but together, I think that there's a world where they encounter a xenomorph along the way.
100%. 100%. And I'd almost be disappointed if they didn't at some point. Like, clearly, they're, as we said, Weyland Yutani's there. They bring back Mother, make her a part of the storyline, make her the overarching, and it could be Big Bad, shows up again in future movies.
Yeah.
Those who don't know, Mother was the ship's AI from Alien. I think they mentioned her in other movies too, but Alien's the big one where she's kind of like a secondary evil person. She tells Ash to what to do and everything else in that movie. Here, I think in Alien is like Mother 6,000, and in this one they make a point to show Mother like 6,800, whatever the hell it is. I didn't write down the number, but it's clearly like they're implying that this is a later version of the same thing. So, yeah, I think it's got to end that way eventually.
Yeah, and that aspect of it is interesting too, because they explain more about the Yautja culture than going in and trying to explain everything with Mother and all that, Yeah. And they don't explain too much in any of these cases, because like specifically like with the synths and Mother and all that, like, so they've said that this is as far into the future as we've ever been. This takes place even after Alien Resurrection. So, but they don't say how old this ship is, because it's shown that sometimes they will send a ship galaxies and galaxies away and it'll spend hundreds of years getting there or whatever. And so they don't explain that part of it. So if they develop technology that comes out before this, they can explain it away by just saying, well, this ship took off before that, so they didn't have that technology,
Right, and that's a great way to build the world. Like, right. Because people like us be like, oh, this wasn't in this movie. Be like, well, the ship's older. Simple as that.
Right. That's the exact same thing as like Alien Earth, right? They took off and they were traveling for 67 years or whatever. It's like a similar mission too, right?
Yeah. Going and getting dangerous organisms to bring back to Earth for weapons.
Right.
Someone's got to talk to Weyland Yutani about that plan. It's not a great plan.
Right.
They wanted it. Like, that's their whole thing.
The Kalisk, though, it's got
cool.
some powers, though. Like, you see
Wolverine.
him fighting this thing, and you're just like, oh man, how do you kill this thing? Like, I don't have any idea.
It's got regeneration to the degree of like Wolverine or Deadpool. Like, he does some serious damage to the thing, and you're like, oh wow, he's actually gonna pull this off, and then you see it just regenerate. You're like, no, never mind. He is screwed, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a really cool monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole scene with it and the way they used the fog around it and everything, that was all really cool.
Yeah, how he summons it by making a giant explosion in its nest, and it just comes trampling through the woods. It's really cool introduction to that creature.
Yeah, and so that aspect of it, I saw an interview with Dan Trachtenberg where he was talking about how he took a lot of the feel for like the monsters and the vibe of the movie from his favorite video games. So he specifically mentioned Shadow of the Colossus and Monster Hunter.
Right, you can see that, and I've played both those games. I'm a big fan of both of those games, especially Shadow of the Colossus is one of my all-time favorite games. Just real quick, if anyone doesn't know, you play as a single character with a sword, and you have to like hunt down these giant screen-filling monsters that it's basically just a game that's 13 boss fights in a row, and it's fantastic. The things have size and scope to them. Like, they enter the screen and like the whole like world like moves and shakes and everything like that. So you can kind of see that in here, and that's cool that he referenced that, because I absolutely love that game. I don't know if you've ever played it, but it'd be well worth the time.
I own the game. I don't know how I own it. I don't know if I bought it or if it was like something that was included with,
It was a PlayStation Plus game.
Okay, so I think that must be how I have it then. I downloaded it and played it after I watched this, because I looked it up for the video I was making, the video review for the movie, and there's a shot in it of the first Colossus that looks just like the shot of Dex standing in front of the Kalisk.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that is such a cool callback. So I played it, and I beat the first Colossus already, and I'm just about to come upon the second one, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break for a day or two and then come back for the second Colossus. But yeah, super cool game.
It's such
really
good
graphics, really good music. The music reminds me a lot of the music from Prey, actually.
Yeah, and that was
that old timey folkiness to it.
100%.
Almost like medieval vibes too.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a freaking PS2 game when it first came out too. So imagine that console handling that obviously not the same. It had limitations. When I was whatever age old it was when that game first came out, you had the same feeling that they make for the remake. It's just it's cool. It's just a fun little world.
Yeah.
And then Monster Hunter, same idea. You go out, you're a lone warrior. Well, you can join up with people, and you have to take down these big monsters. You have to track them, find out what their weaknesses are, and take them out to get their parts to make yourself stronger.
Yeah, and they justify. You're not just. I mean, some of the monsters you're literally just killing to kill, and like you're gonna eat them or turn them into your armor or whatever. But the big monsters, generally, they will come up with a way where, like, you know, you're coming upon that one that's like a giant like volcano monster, basically. That was like the big guy that like there was you were opening like the thing in the wall or whatever. But like it tells this whole story around like the people that are there, like you're saving this entire like community around there, because when this thing comes it's going to kill everybody. And so if they go that route with this, where they're kind of traveling around and people are like, oh, a Yautja, like we, you know, if you're looking for another trophy, we have this monster that's been terrorizing the lands.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, if that's where they go with this, like, I'm all in. Like, yeah, give that to us.
Like Final Fantasy X has monster hunts where you would just get like assigned different monsters to hunt based from regular people, and that would be what you do. So you could definitely turn that into a Predator movie. Make him a bounty hunter of sorts of these things that are destroying planets or ruining people's lives on planets.
Yeah, almost comparable to like The Witcher too.
Yeah,
be cool.
100%. Yeah.
The other part of that too is, so he said that part of his inspiration for the role of Thea and Deck was Master Chief and Cortana from Halo.
Right. You got that gif I sent of Ratchet and Clank too.
Oh yeah.
And some people have said like Chewie and C-3PO when he loses his legs in Star Wars too. You know, it's kind of a noticeable one character have another character on his back. It doesn't happen that often. When it happens, you're like, oh, I've seen that. This and this. Like we just went over, but
Luke Skywalker and Yoda. When he's training.
Yeah, training.
Yeah. When he's doing cardio.
Yeah. Cleaning up the swamp, moving the rocks around.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to jump into kind of one of the complaints that I have seen.
Okay.
And it's that there is a small handful of people out there that are calling this the Disneyfication of the Predator franchise.
I figured.
And making a lot of comparisons to The Mandalorian.
Yep. I was going to bring that up. I didn't know that was... it makes sense, though, because you got a badass solo kind of character hooks up with because I'm not talking about Elle Fanning, I'm talking about Bud that you mentioned, like him and Bud kind of like Mando and Grogu,
yeah,
like that kind of thing. I could kind of see that a bit, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. I kind of expected that argument to come.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, yeah, I see the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to once it's pointed out, but I just don't mind it, I guess would be the thing, right? Because I don't think it is the same thing, you know, and I think that the decision, so let's kind of talk about spoilers with this too.
Sure.
The decision to have Bud grow up at the end of the movie, so the next time they see him, he's big.
Huge.
I think was Dan Trachtenberg's way of combating that, of like, this guy's not going to be a baby for long like Baby Yoda. Yep. He was a child in this, and now right by the end of the movie, he's big. So any adventures they go on now, he's an actual monster. Not full grown, but he's a big guy. So you're not going to run into the Baby Groot or Baby Yoda or anything like that, where it's like extended periods of time with this.
Mascot.
So I think that it's something he was aware of, and it's part of the story too, though, you know, because spoiler alert, Bud turns out to be a child version of the Kalisk, the monster that he's been hunting this whole time. No. And the whole point of that is him learning that not all monsters are bad.
Yeah.
And everything that transpires with him and Bud and Thea is all contributing to the fact that he's like, okay, I shouldn't just kill everybody. He learns that somebody who's become his friend along the way, he's actually hunting their mother. And so that's the point of that part of the story, is that, and then he ends up taking this creature on under his wing. And so there's a story justification for it. And I think it's a really good one too. And it makes everything that transpires from there that much more heartbreaking between him and Bud and the Callisk and Thea. And I almost cried at the end of this damn movie.
Unexpected.
Like unexpected, yeah. I was just like, oh my God, like they went there. That was a little bit of a heartbreaking moment there.
And like you said, like that's the character's development in the movie. He starts off as a predator. Creature we know, creature we've seen before. Murder, prove myself, murder. And as the movie goes along, he learns that it's okay to have friends. It's okay to, but you don't have to be what you were born to be. You can become something else. You can find your own way, kind of. Like it's one of modern cinema's favorite thing is the found family thing, and this is their version of telling that story. And the cute little creature showing up, sure, it has vibes of Baby Yoda and Grogu and everything else. But as you said, like it's there to show him that, like the Callisk, this is what you're hunting. Like this becomes that. So it just shows his maturity. His growth.
Yeah.
Let's go with growth.
Yeah.
His growth as a character. So I had no issues with that.
Learning that he doesn't need to just hunt things to hunt them.
Yeah.
That the Callisk is not inherently evil.
Yeah.
And that there is nothing wrong with mercy, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the reason he is here, is because his brother had mercy on him. And so him having mercy on the Callisk and all of that is like it's his sort of lesson that he learns over the course of the movie.
Exactly. So if we're in spoiler territory. Oh,
territory.
If we're already here, the movie opens up. He takes on his brother in a training session, I think it is. But then he kind of finds out later on that his brother was actually there to kill him. And when his dad shows up and is like, "Why didn't you kill him?" His brother kind of betrays the father and sends him on his mission. So as you said, that's the mercy that he learns through that, and then as the movie goes on, he learns how to kind of give that mercy as well.
And interestingly, I don't know if you picked up on this, but another comparison furthering that parallel with Prey is that in both situations, the brother sacrifices himself for them, and their dying words are "bring it home."
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. No, I missed that part. That's cool though, because obviously Tombe. That's his name in Prey.
I don't remember. I'm terrible with names.
I think the character's name was Tombe, but yeah, when he meets his end in that movie, he does say "bring it home," and you're right, that is in here too. That's cool. I didn't pick up on that. Well done, Dan Trachtenberg.
Yeah, it's such a subtle thing, and things like that. It's because they're subtle that you'll notice them more and more over the course of rewatches in the future. But yeah, that scene where. What's her name? Amber Midthunder's name, like Naruko or something?
Naru?
Like when he gets killed in that movie.
Yeah.
And like you see they're looking around and then he just stops and he looks at her and he's like,
This is my journey ends or something like that.
Yeah. Because he knows that this thing's behind him. Like something happened that like he heard it or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so well done. And
Naru, we're right.
To turn around and tell that same similar story, I think it's a really, really smart decision. And also, there was a point where he thought about her character being here instead of Thea, and he decided against it. And I think it was the right decision, because if you're going to use her character, there's still that moment where they can learn sort of about each other and learn to have mercy with each other. But here, he needed his own story.
Yeah, he did. Definitely did. And that is really cool. I didn't pick up on that. You were talking about Easter eggs and stuff, that how this movie didn't have quite as many, but that's a big one I didn't pick up on.
Yeah. And that's an Easter egg to his own movie too, not even like the originals. And so I think all of these things kind of build up the idea that he's redefining this franchise one piece at a time. Right. You know, with each one of these movies, they take all these steps forward. And so, like, when I talked to Sarah about this, she likes Prey and this more than the original. And I think a big part of that is because she doesn't have that nostalgia that we have growing up with it, you know?
That is a huge part of it. You can't deny the strength of nostalgia, like how much, like, liking something when you're a kid and then just having it being kind of, I don't want to say comfort. Yeah, comfort. We'll go with comfort. Just being a comfort thing that, like, when you see it, you're reminded of, like, I remember watching this when I was blah, 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 you know?
Right.
and that's power. That's a powerful thing. So her with fresh eyes, I completely can understand her saying that. Like like I said, these are the Prey and Jesus Christ, Badlands are my bronze and silver medal. So yeah, that makes sense. I still I know nostalgia goggles, but yeah, I get that.
One final Easter egg that I had, and we already noticed this in the trailer, but the alien skull from Independence Day, it was on that ship. It was there.
On that ship.
But also, the two stars there were asked about that in an interview, and they were like, "Yeah, that's one of the aliens from Independence Day. I can't tell you how it got there, but I can confirm that that's what it is."
That's awesome. Because
so it's confirmed.
Another movie that 20th Century Fox owns.
Yep.
That is a dead-ass franchise, unfortunately, because they put out a really bad sequel.
Yeah, very bad. That's another one. Their sequel tried to rely too much on nostalgia without trying to tell like a good story.
Yeah.
You know, they were just like, oh, how do we outdo the original? How do we just make it bigger and all that? Where this kind of goes in let's do it different.
Which is the better way to handle a legacy. Well, it's not really a legacy sequel; it's its own thing. But yeah, it's a different type of movie. It's like I think someone said it's more like the early '90s comic books than it is like the horror action horror movies that we grew up with.
Yeah,
I get that.
Very similar to the comics.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and reread those because I remember reading those as a kid and having a good time with them. I mean, hell, they could do. I've been clamoring it for years. The alien planet that has been taken over by xenomorphs, and there's all the different types of Kenner monsters on there. You can have that now, guys. Come on.
They still can, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like that eventually. And I think that's sort of where, with Disney in charge of this now, and them being part of this bigger thing, they've got people that are like very concerned with the long-term managing of all of this.
Yeah.
So what do you think's next
for the franchise? I think we're going to see a tie into Killer of Killers because at the very end there, the ship that shows up, I know he says it looks like his mom's ship. I thought that was the ship from Killer of Killers.
It is.
Is it?
I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
So he said that's my mother, and we've never seen a female yacht ship before. So either we're going to get that, or we're going to get a tie into Killer of Killers where that ship opens up and the samurai and World War II pilot are in there.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if... So one of the things about it is that it says we haven't seen a female Yautja yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know that we haven't.
Well, that's true, too, actually. We don't know what they look like. Maybe they don't show like humans.
Right. That's completely possible. And so, like, the villain from Killer of Killers could have been a female. We just really have no idea, right?
I'm just thinking my human brain where it didn't have boobs, so it's not female.
But yeah, I think that it will tie in to the end there. It's completely possible here that what we get next is that thing that ties Prey, Killer of Killers, and Badlands all together into one movie, and then maybe that's the clan, right?
Yeah, I mean the scene that I think it got added to Killer of Killers after it was out for a little bit, where they show the frozen bodies of Naru, Captain Harrigan, and Dutch. Like they put those in there for a reason. Like they're not just gonna let those sit on ice.
The only thing that confuses me though is that they're young versions of them.
Yeah, unfortunately. Jenny Glover
how are they gonna have Arnold and Glover
look like
in a live action movie if they're using the young versions?
Yeah, but the men are 30 years older than they were when those movies came out, at least.
Yeah, 40? We're talking Predator 2 was like 1990 and Predator 1 was like 1987.
Yeah. So close to 40 years.
40 years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, that'd be tough to pull off. I know de-aging's it's
they
tough.
Can't de-age them.
Yeah. You can't. We saw Sam Jackson in Captain Marvel. It doesn't look good.
Wouldn't that suck if they rooked it and did a de-aged? I do not want to see a de-aged Danny Glover.
No one does.
Recast if that's what you want to do.
And just so people know, like in Captain Marvel, the scenes with Sam Jackson that was de-aged look fine until you see him try to do something like run or any kind of like physical activity, and it just looked so awkward and weird. So you can't have like an action movie with that.
Yeah.
You can't have like weird, no offense to him. I'm sure he probably still whoop but how old's Arnold now? In his 70s? Like he can't be
Yeah,
the
I
same.
think so.
He can't be the same character. It just time doesn't allow it, unfortunately. Would I love to have him come back and like voice it? That'd be great. But like maybe animated, or that would be the best way of doing it.
He is 78.
Yeah, jeez, it's almost 80.
Yeah. Whew.
So
So unless they do, man, I just don't know. I was going to say unless they do just include him in the animated ones, but I don't know. That's the one part of this that confuses me. Is how do you put those two things together, right?
Yeah.
Where you showed the younger versions of them in the cryogenic chamber and all that, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Naru makes sense. Prey just came out a few years back. Amber Midthunder is still a very young actress. She'll be fine for that. But Danny Glover and Arnold, like they clearly showed them in Killer of Killers for a reason. So I have to think maybe we'll get another animated movie, and that's where they'll shine. Or just I don't know how you do it live action, but I feel like they're gonna tie that in. That's my guess. Is either another animated one or somehow in live action they'll try to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. That's all I got for that. Okay, let's jump into the news.
The new.
So the first thing is that Pan's Labyrinth is getting a re-release in theaters next year. You hear that?
I had not heard that, but I will go see it.
Yeah, me too. You've seen it already, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pan's Labyrinth is fantastic.
It's one of those movies that I watched maybe twice when it first came out, enjoyed the hell out of it, and just haven't gone back to it yet. And there's no reason for it. I just haven't watched it again since. So it's been on my rewatch list for a while. I just need to knock it out at some point.
Yeah, it's really good. Sarah even liked it. I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, it was way darker than I thought it was going to be. I expected a fairy tale, and it's a very dark fairy tale. So I didn't quite get what I expected. And it really does have quite the dramatic, like there's a lot of drama to it too, between like the young girl and her father and all that. And so there's like, it's telling a couple different stories. And when I was in my 20s, I watched it. And so I don't think I was quite ready for what the movie was. Years later, I'd come back to it and it would become my favorite Guillermo del Toro movie. So I think that I'm very much looking forward to the opportunity to see it in the theater, because I didn't see it in the theater when it came out. I saw it like, I don't know, out of a red box or something.
Yeah. Rented it off Netflix before they stream things.
Right. Did you do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
When I was in college, specifically.
My Netflix subscription goes all the way back to them days.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's all I got for that one. Keeper comes out next week. You gonna watch that?
I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find a way. I checked our local theater, the Geneseo one, to see if it's gonna be there. It doesn't look like it's gonna be there, so we'll have to probably take a journey for that. But I want to see that after, as I said, finally watching Long Legs. Finally watching Long Legs and enjoying the monkey. I need to watch that one too.
Really caught up on me with that. This
Sorry.
road.
Damn road. Don't know why my body did that, but that's life.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we think this movie is about?
Isolation and slowly becoming insane.
Isolation.
Nope.
You think so?
I think so.
So from the recent trailers I've seen, I've been starting to think that there's a monster in this.
Yeah. I think the monster's
the human.
I think the monster's in her head.
You think so?
Right, that's what I got from the last trailer I saw, so maybe I'm just completely off base on it.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. We'll see. I think that it's going to turn out to be like a folk horror with monsters that have been stalking this wooded area where a cabin that this woman and her husband have gone to. I think they've been stalking the people that rent this cabin for like decades and causing them to... I'm jumping to a lot of conclusions.
Hey,
but
that's what we're here for.
In the trailer, it showed different women throughout the years. And so I'm thinking that it either affects her husband or her in a way where they turn on each other and try to kill each other. Or it might be like a changeling type thing. But I'm leaning towards the latter, where it has psychological impacts on the people that are there and is causing them to basically go crazy.
Yeah,
but I do think there's some sort of,
actual
evil
creature. Okay.
in the woods around there. I do think so. So
I hope so.
that'll be interesting. I look forward to seeing where we go with it, I think it's completely possible that neither of us is right on this one.
It's very
I'd say
possible.
there's like a 25% chance for me, 25 for you, and then a 50% chance that it's neither of those things.
Yeah, curveballs. It was actually an alien the whole time.
Yeah, right. It could be aliens.
Could be
right?
aliens. Could be Poochie coming back from his home planet. Oh,
Stanley
Simpsons
Tucci?
reference. Simpsons reference. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. All right. So we'll see next week. So tune in next week, and we'll be talking about Keeper and The Running Man.
Mhm.
Another thing I had, so via Variety, Joesph Kosinski, who is the director of Top Gun Maverick, confirmed that Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler are in talks to star in his upcoming Miami Vice movie, saying,
Heard about that.
if it ends up being those two, I will be very lucky.
He would be.
It would be. What do you think about that?
I think I like Michael B. Jordan quite a bit. Austin Butler, don't really rate him, but I know he's hot commodity right now, I guess is the word to put it. So, yeah, I mean, I never really given much of a crap about Miami Vice. Hey, action-adventure movies, I'm here for. Like, I remember watching the Colin Farrell, Jamie Foxx.
Yep.
And being like, that's fine. So as long as it's better than that, I'm in for it.
Yeah. I will say, I have come to enjoy the Colin Farrell, Jamie Foxx one over time a bit more. It is directed by Michael Mann.
Yeah, that
who
helps.
did Heat and the original Miami Vice TV show and many, many other things. But yeah, I venture to say that this one will be better than that. It's got that non-point cover of In the Air Tonight. Yeah,
I do love that cover.
Yeah. I mean, he played the hell out of that for that movie.
He did. I remember.
When did that come out? That was like 2014?
The movie or the song?
Well, I think both of them were around the same time, but I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah, give me a second. I can find out for you.
I can feel it coming in the air. 2006.
That is way earlier than I thought.
Yeah, wow, that came out when I was still in high school. Wow.
Yes. Side story. Recently, actually last Saturday when I was moving firewood with my dad, he played the original version that came on. I'm like, Nonpoint does a good cover of this. And he's like, no, I had to listen to that. So I played it for him. He liked it.
Oh, and he smashed my phone with a rock.
Smashed my phone with a rock, yeah. Threw it into the woods. This is a new phone.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad he liked it. All right, the next piece of news. This one's for you, Dan.
Ooh.
Gremlins 3 announced for November 19th, 2027, with Chris Columbus directing after writing the first two, Steven Spielberg producing, having produced the first two, and two new writers on. And these writers happen to be the writers of Final Destination Bloodlines. So, no Joe Dante.
Unfortunate.
As he hasn't been directing since 2014. But what do you think about this news, Dan? You might be like the biggest Gremlins fan I know, so.
And I'm okay with it. Super pumped. Actually, a mutual friend of ours, Amanda Vosberg, messaged me about it. And I'm like 100% in on this. Like super pumped that they're bringing back as much as the original talent that they could find. And then I thoroughly enjoyed Final Destination Bloodlines. It came out this year. One of my favorite, I wouldn't say surprises, but it was better than I thought it'd be. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
And just, I love the Gremlins franchise. The first movie I watch every year, November 1st, as my transition from horror to Christmassy times. That's exciting that the Spielberg and Columbus are attached to at least be involved in it. I like those writers. I'm excited to see what they can do with it. And this is a franchise that has been dormant for too long, and I'm excited that we're getting another shot at it.
Yeah. What do you think of Chris Columbus being the director?
Has he directed much of anything else before?
He's directed a lot. He directed Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's right. My brain.
A few Harry Potter movies. He directed. Let's see. He has directed 20 other things. Now, granted, in the last few years here, he hasn't directed a lot. He did the Percy Jackson Lightning Thief movie. He did Pixels. I didn't love Pixels. He did the Christmas Chronicles Part 2. I didn't watch that.
I didn't even know about that. But yeah, he's been
Beth Cooper, Rent,
not great.
Bicentennial Man,
right.
Stepmom, 9 Months, Home Alone 2, and Home Alone 1.
That's right.
So I guess those are the big ones, right? Adventures in Babysitting, Home Alone 1 and 2, and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
And I mean the Harry Potter movies. That's solid, but
yeah. So obviously you said Home Alone 1, 2, and Mrs. Doubtfire. Those are classics of our childhood, and that's kind of probably the vibe that this one will end up at. And yeah, I'm excited. I don't know why my brain blanked on Christopher Columbus. Not that one.
Not Christopher, just Chris.
Just Chris, yeah. Chris Columbus. The other one, Google it. You make your own opinions. But yeah, dude, I'm pumped.
I saw somebody post online like, Chris Columbus is making the new Gremlins movie. Are we just gonna forget about the genocide?
It writes itself, really. So yeah. My only thing is I want practical Gremlins to an extent, and you guys will be you guys have my business. I'll watch it.
Yeah, practical. We want puppets.
We want puppets. Yeah, they're not that expensive.
No, you can get one at Home Depot right now for $120.
Yeah, put a little motor in there, let it run around.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm super excited for that because it's been so long. You've heard rumors like, oh, we're gonna do this, oh, we're gonna do that, and it's never anything's come of it. I know they had like a weird animated Netflix series that I kind of wanted to catch at some point, but just never did. And I'm pumped. I am pumped that they're going back to that franchise.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'm glad to see that you're happy about it, Dan.
I am.
Okay, that's the end of the news. Now we're gonna jump into a quick physical media showcase. Dan, take us away.
Yes, sir. So the thing I couldn't find last week that I was finally able to find is my Steelbook copy of Anaconda.
Oh, the Steelbook of Anaconda. Yeah. Look at you.
Yeah, it's just a regular Blu-ray, not 4K or anything like that, but it was on sale on Amazon, I believe. And yeah, I got it for like $12 and I'm happy with it. So yeah, Holly hasn't seen this yet. She saw the trailer for the weird comedy remake that's coming out with Paul Rudd and Jack Black, and she's all pumped about that. So I have to make her watch the OG before we get to that.
I love the original Anaconda.
It's fun.
I saw it at the theater. It has one of the best casts for a movie like that. You got Jennifer Lopez, you got Ice Cube, you got Eric Stoltz, John Voight, you got Owen Wilson. I think Carrie Werwer's in that too, right?
She is, yeah.
You got the father/hunter from Jumanji, who I can't think of his name right now.
Yep, he's skipping me too.
In it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also in Mummy, the archaeologist guy. No, that's F. Abraham. I'm sorry. They look alike.
They do not look alike.
They do not look alike. That's a lie.
No, but he is in the Mummy though.
Yeah, that's right.
He's just a different character. Remember, don't open the book.
Yeah, that's the guy I was referring to, and for some reason my brain flashed F. Murray Abraham
over to
it betrayed
Evie's
me.
Boss.
Yeah, it betrayed me. Son of a biscuit. Well, that was just being on camera and panicking is what that was, folks. So I was right. Turns out.
He is there. Yeah. Cool. That's fun. Update us on what she thinks of that.
I have a feeling she's going to like it.
Yeah.
I've impacted her movie taste quite a bit as we've been dating. She went from not watching movies at all and straight up disliking horror to now she sees a scary movie trailer. She's like, let's go watch it. So I'm quite proud of myself on that.
I actually did the opposite to Sarah. She was open to horror when we started dating, and then I took her to Hereditary and a few other movies. Hereditary, she marks as, she said that the horror movies that made her not want to watch horror movies anymore were Hereditary and Suspiria, the Suspiria remake, actually.
No, that's fair.
That is fair. I didn't know what I was getting her into with that one.
Those are two tough ones to start off with.
I didn't start her with that, but I mean, it was pretty early in our relationship. But anyways.
What'd you get?
So for mine, I wanted to bust out to match the theme for this week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
Predator 2-disc collector's edition DVD.
Heck yeah.
So we got these guys here.
Blaine and Carl Weathers.
Yeah, and you got this guy on the inside, and then you got our two DVDs right here.
Fantastic. I have that somewhere, that exact same one.
This exact one?
The exact one. Nice. You had to at that point in time.
Yeah. This was a huge deal at the time.
Yeah.
So on top of that, I've got the matching one.
Oh, I don't have that, though. I'm jealous of that.
Predator 2. This one is a bit different because it's a slip cover. They didn't bust out all the extra money on this one, but it is a 2-disc collector's edition.
It's a good movie.
You got a little baby booklet on the inside. It's funny because I opened this up and I was like, oh, what's behind this? And it's a little hey, come to NASCAR 2002. I was like,
no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Even if I had a time machine, I still wouldn't go do that.
Obviously did nothing with that. It just lived in the back here. And then we got our regular and our special features.
I do not have that, and I'm jealous. I'm a bit jealous of that.
Yeah, so I figured busting these out just to show them
Fits.
off a little bit wouldn't be the end of the world.
No, that fits. That's awesome. You know what Holly's weird complaint about? One of Holly's weird complaints about Predator was, you know, the Bill Duke character Mac. She's like, why is he so sweaty? I'm like, they're in a jungle, Hol.
They're in the rainforest.
Yeah, it's quite humid there.
Yeah.
She's like, he's way too sweaty. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do about it.
I don't think everybody else is sweaty enough.
I think he's the exact level of correct sweaty.
He's the correct level of sweaty, yes.
She's like,
everybody
he just
talks about like, oh, why is he dry shaving? I was like, there's nothing dry about it.
Nothing dry about it at all. Yeah. She's like, he loses his mind quite quickly. I'm like, wouldn't you in that situation?
He just watched his friend's chest explode in front of his best friend.
Yeah. And then what did it? Just kind of blinks at him and runs off in the jungle, invisible. Like, I would lose my mind too.
Sarah thought the first Predator was legitimately so sad because she was so like just, you know, in love with all these characters, and they're all played so well. That is the benefit of it, is that every one of these characters is memorable. There's like 8 dudes and you remember every one of them. You almost remember all of their names, and each one of them has a unique personality, you know, and I think that's the huge benefit of it. So when each one of them gets taken out, it really does hit you. And that's what she said, is that like that's why she struggled with that movie, was because you grow to like all those characters so much that just watching all of them get mowed down towards the end is just really hard to watch.
It is, because like the first half of that movie is an action adventure like Commando, and then we talked about it. It switches gears, and like you said, they establish characters you like, and then all of a sudden they're in a horror movie and it doesn't go well for them. So I get that. I get that way of thinking about it. Who was it? Billy, the Native American gentleman in the movie. Hal really liked him, and like she was like, oh, like when he stood in the bridge and like did the whole thing and like standing there like ready to go 1-on-1, and then you don't see anything but his scream. She's like, oh, that's not satisfying at all. I'm like, I'm the exact opposite. I think that's the best way for that character to go out.
Yeah, that was a tough one, but yeah, all those characters, there's not really an unlikable one amongst them. Kind of Carl Weathers towards the end, but like even that side of it, like, you know, you still like Carl Weathers, right?
Yeah, you do.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for the night.
Yeah, I'm good here too, bud.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for catching another episode of the Bark Knight Podcast. Please follow, subscribe, and leave a rating to keep the reels turning. And visit barknightmedia.com to find the latest episodes, blog articles, and to sign up for our newsletter. Until next time, keep celebrating great stories on and off the screen.